Last week, I talked about the fact that do not be afraid is one of the most recurring phrases in all of the Bible. Today, I'm going to talk about perfect love, which casts out fear. I don't know how old I was, but it's one of my earliest memories. My family, my parents, and my only sibling, we were going to the Philadelphia Zoo. And to get there, we had to drive through West Philadelphia, which is almost exclusively a black community. I had never seen so many people with black skin before, walking along the street. It may just be in my imagination, but I'm almost sure my parents had us put up the windows and lock the doors in a car. I know I have racist feelings, and I'm sure some of them stem from that early childhood experience. But it's not the racist feelings that I'm aware of that bother me, but rather it's the reflexive ones that I'm not even aware of. Racism, I think, really grows out of fear. A fear of the other. A fear of people who act differently or look differently than we do. People with a different culture. People with a different history and with different experiences. It is into our fear that John wrote in 1 John 4:18, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear." Perfect love casts out fear. What is perfect love? Well, one way to understand perfect love is to say that it is love which is unconditional. It is not love based on our goodness, not love based on what we do or do not do, but just love regardless of how we live or act. And that is the kind of love, I believe, that God has shown to us in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. I want to share with you another story, a story that's a little more positive than my first one. For years now, Suzanne and I have been going with our daughter's marine bio class to the Keys during spring break. It's a class from Goshen High School. And over the years, an increasing number of the students who go on that trip are Hispanic, to the point that the last couple of years, the percentage of Hispanic students was almost the same amount of Hispanic students at the high school, which is right around 52%. And it's been a great joy for me to be able to interact with these kids and to see what their hopes and dreams are for their lives. One evening a few years ago, I was sitting at a picnic table with some Hispanic students, and I tried to maintain a low profile so as not to interrupt their flow of conversation. And one girl said that she wants to become a nurse. And I was about ready to say, "That's great." But before I said that, she said, "Well, really, I want to become a doctor, but I don't have money to go to med school. So I want to be a nurse first to raise money to go to med school." Wow. And then another girl, in all innocence, said, "Someday I would like to be President of the United States." She caught herself. And I think she realized how preposterous that sounded. And she started laughing, and we all had a good laugh. But I was struck by how these Hispanic students, some of them first generation, some of them second, maybe some even third generation, have many of the same aspirations and hopes and dreams of Anglo kids. They want to better themselves. They want to get an education, many of them. They want to become a part of the bounty of this country. And I think we dare not stand in their way, but rather we should work to make their dreams come true. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear.